Independent Hoops here with defending state champs, Augusta Christian. Coach Dotson, if you would take a second for the CSRA fans, introduce yourself, introduce the guys you got here with us.
Sure. I'm Coach Brandon Dotson. I coach Augusta Christian boys varsity basketball. Have to my right Mr. Khalil Pratt, aka KP, number 22. Then we have our big man in the middle, 6'9/6'10", 6'10 today. Luke Wilson,
6'10".
Commit to Georgia Southern University. Very proud of him. Both are defending state champions from last year's group.
Absolutely. Obviously, with any time you win a state championship, you can go pretty deep, and then now you got to start back over. It's a quick turnaround. And you got multi-sport athletes, and you got guys that also are multi-sport but spend a lot of time on the AAU court this summer. What has that last 5 months been like since winning state?
Because we're a private school, it's been different.
Yeah.
It's been different for a few different reasons. Number one, having success, which is the first state championship at Augusta Christian in 10 years. And so school, community, program is getting acclimated to that level of success and scheduling. But then making sure as guys matriculate into their next season, baseball, Kentucky commit, baseball, played football as well. And so just making sure everybody's on the same page, AAU, high level AAU guys. And so making sure they're in the right respective places to help develop their game, but then also getting ready for June, summer basketball for high school. So it's been a transition, making sure everyone knows what we need to work on as we prepare for the next run. But then the elephant in the room, making sure we get all our guys back for the next year to run it back. Because we are a private school. They don't catch the bus to AC. And so that was the most important thing. Who do we have coming back locked in so we can go ahead and prepare for the next year?
Right. How? I mean, I know we're going to get to a lot, but man, if you can just real quick touch on that. Like, we're 2022 about to be 2023 now, and you got high major baseball commit that's playing basketball, and high mid-major, high major basketball commit that's playing football, and just managing schedules. And like you said, your guys don't take the bus to your school, and raising expectations of you guys are traveling out to, I think, Vegas and stuff this year, and playing some of the premier tournaments. Like how has it been just managing all that as a coach?
It's been fun. Been more fun than a headache. The schedule isn't the issue. It's making sure our guys don't hear too much of the noise outside the program. It's so many voices, whether it's social media, whether it's home, whether it's community, whether it's friends. And so when you're dealing with this level of success, though he's a commit to baseball, plenty of D1 coaches and D2 coaches have called and inquired about this kid, as well as him. Just making sure we're locked in on what we need to do. I think the sky's the limit for our program. I don't even think we scratched the surface where we could have been last year. I just think we were a bunch of sophomores last year that had a bunch of success. Now we're a bunch of juniors that just had early success. And so just maturing into the situation, that's all.
Yeah.
And listen, coaching as well.
Yeah.
Coaches had to mature into the situation. And so it's not just on them. We had to grow with them.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys?
Coach, you kind of touched on you may have been a little bit ahead of schedule last year.
Yeah.
And this year you're coming in, you're not sneaking up on anybody, you have a target on your back. Just tell me about that dynamic.
Yeah, well said. I think we did sneak up on a few people. But our schedule last year was intentional. We called it all year, we're going hunting. And so we wanted the holiday hoops giving tournaments. We went to that. We wanted the bowl bash tournaments. We wanted the elite talent just to, number one, say that we can compete on that level. We went 25-5. We lost 4 games to teams who won their state championship. 1 game to a team we beat going into the state championship. And so those games could have went either way. Whereas this year, we feel like we are the hunted. We won't get everyone's best shot. Having said that, the challenge is competing like champions, doing everything like champions, stretching like champions, warming up like champions. How do we break down film together like champions? Are they eating like champions before the game? Not McDonald's, but what are we putting in our bodies? Are we hydrating after practice like a championship program? So that's our challenge now. How do we dismiss the title and act like it?
Luke, have you ever heard the term breaking news? Somebody breaks news. So my question is, like, did we just break news when it comes to Georgia Southern being committed and all that? Like, is that something this gentleman here should be thinking about writing an article about? Has that been made public before?
It hasn't been made public, but I am going to make it public this weekend, and I will be committed November the 18th, that Friday, before that Thanksgiving week.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
There we go. There we go. I guess leading into that, talk about leading up to I think you said you're signing next 18th. Kind of the journey to get to that point. Obviously, winning state last year with your brothers, and then you had a really long summer, putting in a lot of work, playing in front of a lot of coaches there. Just run us down the last 12 months of your life. That's now about to lead to you ultimately accomplishing a dream you've always wanted.
It's been a bumpy 12 months. It's been rough, but it's been good too, because I had a situation on whether I want to play basketball or football. I had interest in both colleges, and then I made the decision for me and myself and my family to play basketball. But it has been rough.
Yeah.
What went into the decision to choose basketball over football?
Really, just my like how big I am. There's not guys my size in football, especially at the position I played. So I thought I'd be smarter and better for my body and my future to play basketball.
Had you played before you transferred to Augusta Christian football?
Football, no sir. I played it 7th grade, but that was just because me and my friends wanted to play football. But other than that, I haven't.
And basketball for you, maybe
Yeah,
4th, 5th grade, something like that?
I started. And then I started taking it more serious as my body progressed. My 8th and 9th grade year, I started taking it more serious.
Good, sorry. Both of you guys can kind of touch on this. How do you play in these other sports at a high level? How does that benefit you on the basketball court?
I think it just adds more to you as a person. I think it takes some time away, lets your mind clear, and I think you come back, you're ready to play. So I think it just adds to the fire.
Yeah, it adds more physicality for me, and it keeps me more focused too also.
And Coach, I imagine in an era of specialization, having guys that can kind of not only compete in another sport, but they're able to take their mind off the day-to-day grind of basketball in general. That way when they come back, they're kind of refreshed. I imagine that's a nice touch for them guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And to their credit, they're gym rats too. Even in their other sports, they're gym rats. Baseball high level, but before baseball practice, he's in the gym. After a baseball workout, if it's early, he's in the gym. And so, to their credit, they do what they have to do to make sure they're prepared. Luke coming off of football, what he did specifically was be way more intentional in the weight room this year. So he's not in basketball shape yet, but he's way stronger than he was at this time last year because of his intentionality in the weight room. So I appreciate that, by the way, guys.
All right, question for both of you guys. So what advice would you give to a student athlete that's coming through high school who doesn't have offers yet? Maybe he's like 9th or 10th grade, but he needs that advice to keep going in order to get those those offers or get to that point to get offers. So what advice would you give?
I say just keep your head down, keep working, give everything to God, pray on it, just keep being the best version of you.
Just trust the process. Everything comes at different times for everybody. And just keep working, keep doing what you're doing, because eventually it'll pay off.
Khalil, want to touch on your injury a little bit. I know you were able to win a state championship last year on maybe 70-80% leg there at the end, and was grinding it through. So congrats on that first and foremost. And secondly, what is that rehab been like? I know you had to miss a little baseball, then got back to it in a great way to end up committing to a high major school like Kentucky. Walk us through that process.
I think it was definitely a grind. I definitely didn't expect the injury to take that long, how it did, but I'm glad that I took the time that I needed, healed up, did all the rehab the right way, got my legs stronger than it was before. Now I think I'm better than I was at that time, so I think it's been a great time for me.
That's good.
After the injury.
That's good.
Khalil, you've been, we talk a lot about baseball with you, but you've been a big time contributor on a varsity level since 8th grade, and basketball. And so my question is, I've seen you play basketball. I actually haven't seen you play baseball yet. Which sport are you better at in your opinion?
That's a tough question. I really don't know. So I think it's about even, I'd say. I think I do a lot for my team for basketball, but I think I contribute a lot for baseball as well. So I think at the end of the day, it was just me choosing the sport I wanted to play going forward.
And then another thing, I think I know this about you as well. You got basketball, you got baseball, and then you have the work that you do in the classroom. I think you're a standout in that area as well. Tell us about your record, whether it be your GPA or how you approach things in the classroom as well.
Oh, my parents are big on grades, so they tell me I'm not playing if I don't have good grades. So that's a must. So I'll stay on top of my things, make sure everything's done so that I can play, perform how I want to play.
What did you 3.8?
I think last year I had like a weighted of 4.3.
Coach Johnson, if you would take a second to introduce the players you got here with us today.
Sure. So we have to my right DJ Shine. He is former Skeezer Player of the Year, shared Coach Skeezer Player of the Year with Elijah Crawford last year. Was real integral in our run last year. Just had a very efficient season, particularly efficient playoff. To my left, we have Braylon Smith, who is one of our premier guards. Braylon can do it all. Defends, scores, very vocal. Just a great kid to coach, great kid to have on the program. These two lead our backcourt. Excited about them, dynamic ball handling, scoring, and creativity on the ball. So expecting great things from them this year.
Yeah. Just from a coach's aspect, I mean, what is it like for you being able to coach, like you said, a former player of the year, super skilled, but also super athletic, and then another one that can, play any guard position, small, but also extremely athletic for his size. I mean, just the explosiveness and that dynamic ability that these two could end up putting together this year. Like, what are you looking forward to with that?
So, two things. Number one, they're a matchup problem for most guards. In my opinion, they are the elite guards on the floor whenever we play. I believe they feel that way. DJ and Braylon are coming off an incredible summer. And me personally, I don't think they have realized their potential yet. They've seen the write-ups on them and all of that stuff, but I don't think they've even scratched the surface with his ability to get to his spot, pull up one of the best mid-range games in high school I've seen in the last 5 years. In all honesty, one of the most creative kids I've seen with the ball in a long time. And so the hope is that as they get older, the game slows down for them, and they understand where their poison really is during the flow of the game.
Yeah. Nice, I like that. I guess DJ, we'll start with you. Coming off a great year that you had, and then it just seems like you even elevated it this summer with Upward, just following along with your stats. And I don't know the final finish, but I want to say you probably like one of the top 10 scorers in the entire Adidas circuit, maybe top 5 even. But kind of talk to how were you able to kind of go from a great high school year to a great summer, and how's that kind of prepared you for now, day one where you're about to get after it tonight with your teammates?
It's really just like you never stop working out.
Yeah.
You really just keep improving your game. You can always get better at something, like no matter what. Like you gotta pay attention to the little stuff or just sharpening what you're good at just to be great at it. That's what my dad always told me.
Yeah. I guess, Braylon's a similar question for you. I kind of want to tweak it slightly though, because I feel like, this year will be a chance for you to maybe jump more in the driver's seat than you've ever had before. I think you were it'd be an understatement to call you a contributor last year because you were more than that. But I think this year you kind of get to jump into the driver's seat a little bit more with it. What are you doing right now to prepare yourself mentally to be ready to handle that?
Well, I know Coach and all my coaches helping me prepare and like getting the team to kind of follow so we can know what to do when things get rough or like game situations. I'm trying to get better as a leader as well and preparing myself because I'm used to like being able to play, but I usually am kind of, I guess you could say, have people with me as well to help me like lead through the way. So I never really had to worry about being like the guy on and off the court, but now I got to be the guy on and off the court, so I'm just trying to get better at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, something I wanted to mention, we talked before about you having a target on your back this year.
Yes, sir.
By that same token, now you have a bunch of guys that have been there before, and they know what it takes to reach the top of the mountain. That has to be a great asset to have going into the season.
Sure. That's definitely true. One of the things we've recognized as a staff is their ability to correct one another and receive the correction. That speaks of maturity. We've been here before. We know what to do. So when guys call each other out, it's all love. It's, I got you, you're right, I see what you're saying. Whether that's practice, we've only had a scrimmage so far. And so I've even heard conversation between them, them like, did they just tell each other that? And it's facts, you said it. And so I'm proud of their maturity and their embracing of how do I cover my teammate in every situation.
All right, so DJ, you won Player of the Year last year. What's your expectations for this year, and what do you want to improve on, or I say, what do you want to keep continuously going with?
You can get better at everything, but something mainly I'm trying to get better with is being more vocal.
Okay.
Giving more constructive criticism to my teammates.
And what's your expectation for this year as well?
For myself, for the team.
For yourself, personally.
I just want to be a leader. Because at the end of the day, all the personal stuff, they're going to look at it, but are you impacting winning for real?
Nice. I guess goal. We can go goals for the team. Each of you that you have set for the team this year. What do you got for that?
Me, I want to win another state championship. I want to also prove that we're gonna be good. All we gotta do is just follow each other. We don't need certain people just so we, as a team, have to be good. I want to prove to other people and ourselves as well that hey, we're here. We can do this with the team that we have.
Yeah.
It was really just beating teams outside of Augusta.
Yeah.
And even inside of Augusta, because being a Christian, Augusta Christian, they try to dim it down.
Yeah.
You can beat Richmond County schools too.
Right. I was about to say we touched on some of the last group, so I definitely want to hit it with you guys. What do you think the benefits are of, like you said, being able to play some of those teams outside of your region? I think you guys go out to Vegas this year. You go to different places and play some really good talent. So talk to us about it. You excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Nice. Well, appreciate you guys stopping by.